Hey everyone, it's Lainey. Welcome back and welcome if you're new. I am making a couple crafts today. This first one here is iron-on. It's a white flocked iron-on from Hobby Lobby. I changed my mind on what I was going to do for this video based on the last video I posted. I'm actually going to make the hoodie instead of the shirt. So I'm going to iron on this today. It is super cold and rainy, dreary. I've got chili on the stove. It is just a sweater weather day, so this is the perfect project for me to do based on the weather. But if you didn't catch the last video, I do have this shirt here that I was going to iron on. I believe I was gonna do the weekends coffee and crafting with pink flocked, but now I've just changed my tune. I'm going to do that on this sweater instead, in this white here. So before I start weeding, I have the instructions, and it is 405 Basics. It's a Hobby Lobby brand. It says for flocked, the temperature needs to be 225 to 350, and it is a warm peel. So I'm gonna, I don't know, let's just put it on like 300 and see how that goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my heat press on 300 and let this start heating up as I get the weeding done. But you know what? I just realized it doesn't say how long. Yes, it does up here. Okay, so 25 to 30 seconds, flip material over and apply medium pressure for an additional 25 to 30 seconds. So I've used this iron-on once before, but it was for a shirt instead of a sweater, but it is the same brand, and I cannot recall how I did this, but it did work. So we'll just kind of play with it and see, and then you'll be able to see what works and what doesn't. Okay. So I cut off the excess here because I didn't want to waste all of that. So I did that prior to pushing play. But as I mentioned, this says Weekends, Coffee, and Crafting. And the font I used is Cookies and Cheese, which I've mentioned before. It is one of my favorite fonts because it's cute, and it's more of the handwritten style. It's just the name is just very odd, but you know, it's catchy because it is so odd. So Cookies and Cheese, I will do my best to remember to link it down below as well for you. I'm not sure if it's a Cricut font or a font that I downloaded from dafont.com, but I'm 98% sure it's probably from dafont.com. So, and they are free. So if you haven't used dafont before, it's super easy. Just go on there and you'll type it out, obviously, and then you'll just download it and install. And if you already have your Cricut software pulled up, you'll just get out of that and then, you know, get back into the design space, the software, and it will update. I hope that makes sense. I know I'm like giving you the simplest version on how to do it, but it is really simple if you are hesitant on downloading fonts. Super easy from dafont.com. So this is thick. If you've never worked with flock before, it is a very thick material, and it is kind of like a felt feeling as well, so you're aware of that. And I really like this in lieu of puff vinyl because there's so many different brands of puff vinyl, and sometimes I've just come across some that don't puff out as much as I want. And if you've got a really good brand that you use, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I guess I'm just kind of going cheap with it, and so I'm not getting very good. Our heat press is done. I'm just not getting very good impressions, so I just kind of switched to the flocked because I like the texture of it, and it is raised slightly, so it gives it a little more dimension. So yeah, definitely recommend a puff vinyl if you know, one that actually gives some substantial puff. Alrighty. It's our last little one there. And many of y'all ask about this little caddy. I purchased this from Michaels. It is a desk carousel, which is how Michaels sells it. That's the name that they gave it. So desk carousel. Okay, so let me clean this up. Moving our design aside, I'm going to move my magnets. Actually, let me move my magnets off of the, oh goodness, these are so strong. Wanted to move those off the mat so they don't get in my way. And I need to stand up here, so I'm sorry if it creates a lot of shadows, but I need to get this prepped. So let's kind of make some room. I changed my lighting real quick so y'all can see this a little better. All right, so first things first, this is a Comfort Colors from Hobby Lobby. It is a cotton polyester blend, and we are going to do the whole set up here where we give it a good press. It doesn't have any, well, it doesn't have too many wrinkles in it, but this helps get the wrinkles out and the moisture because I am in a very humid climate. I am in South Texas. So this is definitely necessary just to help that flocked iron on stick down and stay down for a substantial amount of time. I'm going to bring in my lint roller and remove any lint, dust, debris, hair, all of the above. All right, so my camera died on me, but we have our sweater prepped with the heat and the lint roller, and I'm going to bring in the design here and center it within the shirt, and I'm gonna have to kind of fix this a bit, paying attention to the seams to help me better align the design, the text. Okay, my entire design is on the craft mat itself. It is pretty centered and it is high enough to the neckline for my taste. And now you can see the font choice. It looks so good. I love it. It's really popping as well on this gray. So let's start up at the top. Firm pressure, 300 for 30 seconds. And then I will move the press down and heat the remainder. I actually probably should have turned my heat press the other way, but it's too late now. We'll heat it up, heat this up once, and then assess, and we're probably going to have to turn it inside out or turn it over and heat up the back side like the instructions said. Okay, now moving this up, and going to come back in and align it towards the bottom part of the text crafting. Okay. And like I said, it does state that it is a warm peel. So this is more warm up at the top because we heated it up first. And what I'm going to do now is remove my heat mat because it holds so much heat. And I'm just going to cool down this bottom part just a bit. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm trying to make sure that it is actually on. Okay, it is on the mat. So I'm going to bring it back in, turn my heat press this way, and going to probably let this stay on there with firm pressure for about 20 seconds, and then turn it back over and assess. Just because the instructions were not specific. So we're just trying to kind of figure this out as it goes, which is fine. So now I'm going to remove the carrier sheet, assessing each part. It seems to have adhered really well. Okay. just love the texture and the raised look. I love this flocked. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because the first peel is quite harsh because it still has so much stick to it, what I learned from making hoodies for my husband's work, a double press is the best. So I'm going to do that once more. And let's see, you know what? It doesn't really fit. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna line it up differently this time. And I'm just gonna sit it on here for about 15 seconds at 300 and then move it on to the weekends and then do another peel and the sweatshirt should be done. Okay, so we did the second press, removing the heat mat just to let it cool down just a bit. Just kind of letting it air out some of that heat. Okay. And look at that. You can see how easily the carrier sheet came off. It's because this is just really pressed into the fabric and it is not budging. It is stuck down. So for the future, I will wash in cool water and dry on low heat and wash it and dry it inside out to really allow this flocked iron-on to last a substantial amount of time. Alrighty, let's bring in craft number 2. Alright, so I purchased this from Hobby Lobby a while ago and I actually bought 3 and I'm just kind of going through them for notes and content ideas, things like that. So let me take it out of this cellophane, and it was $3.49. I recently went to Hobby Lobby, as I stated in the last video, because it was kind of a haul video. I don't see these anymore, and I'm really bummed because I love the lined paper and just how it's set up. This notebook itself, I really like this style. But since we are just so busy taking notes, why not personalize this a little bit? And I'm going to be using a new product if I can find it. Oh, here we go. All right, so I purchased this a while ago and just started playing with it. It's permanent frosted, if you can see that. So basically it's just a permanent vinyl, but it is see-through with just little glitter, silver glitter flakes. And I wanted to show you one way that you can use this, and it is hard to tell, but I have some text here that I found in Cricut Design Space, and I created an offset, and this part is the offset layer here, and I don't think it cut all the way through, did it not? Let's see. I don't even see the cut lines. I felt them earlier. Hold on. What a bummer. Maybe this is the wrong piece. Hold on. Let me look around my craft space to make sure that this is the actual piece. And it is not. So I guess that was just a scrap piece there. Okay, so this is the offset layer, as I was saying. Let's see how it cut. There was a little snafu right there. It kind of ripped. So be mindful of that. Okay. And you can kind of see this bit here. And let me go ahead and get this weeded out as well. The obvious white mat from Xtra. And I'm just going to be careful weeding this out because it has little details in it, and it's just got some little dots, I guess some polka dots, some hearts. It is incorporating 2 different font styles, and I thought it was really unique with the added elements. So it says dream, create, inspire. And like I said, it just has little details intermixed. And I'm just going to weed out the centers real quick, and then we'll build up our design on our notebook. And how are we going to do this? I don't want any bubbles, so I am concerned about that because I'm going to be, you know, applying 2 layers of vinyl here. I'm wondering, what I think I should do is get this transferred onto the offset and then transfer them both together. So let's see how that works. Just coming in with my weeding tool to help lift up the transfer sheet from the backer, and going to do my best to align these grids. Okay. Cutting off just a little bit of that excess there, and going to bring in my Tech Wrap scraper and just really add some pressure to this so that design gets transferred over to that transfer tape and all the little extra elements that it has. Okay, turning my work and giving an additional press on the back side. Okay, and let's see how that transferred. Very well. Okay, so what I need is my magnets. I believe I put them in here. Yes. So let's set that down real quick. Okay, and I'm just doing that to help it lay down. I should probably actually tape it down because of this. This material is very slippery on the glass mat, I guess. So being attentive of placement to align it within this offset as it should be. I think I did a decent job there, which is rare. Not the best at that by any means. And what I'm doing is just going to burnish this down really, really well, trying to make sure that there's no bubbles within the white vinyl. And I do have a little bit of the offset layer exposed, which means the transfer tape is not covering it up. So I'm just kind of being careful of those little areas. There's 3. Because this offset layer is really easily, it's easy to rip, if I can get my words out. Okay, so let's bring in our notebook. And, okay, scraping that down, trying to press out any bubbles that were created. Air bubbles. I see some under that offset. I could have laid it down with parchment paper and just done a little bit at a time to really make sure that the bubbles did not, you know, form. But I didn't think about that until after I laid it down, paying attention to how it laid it down. The bubbles were inevitable. Okay, so let's be careful with the transfer tape that is exposed on the notebook because this is kind of a cardboard. Okay, so this vinyl there is just very, very odd. The example on the roll, it shows that they applied it to a glass, kind of to appear like an etching. I will bring it up and see if you can see that. But first time using it, it's not the best, especially because of the way that I laid it down with the bubbles, but you can see just a bit of shimmer. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up. Yeah, you can see the offset a bit, but now you can see the design. Dream, create, and inspire. Like I said, it's got the little circles or bubbles and the hearts, and I really liked the intermix of the font styles there. Okay, we've got one more. This is just a quick craft with me video with just some stuff that I wanted to get done. And this one is what I showed in the haul yesterday as well. So I'm removing the protective film, and it is going to be on both sides. Very carefully trying to peel that back with the weeding tool. Okay. Because I can still scratch through the film and scratch my acrylic, so I don't want to do that. Oh, I thought it came out, but I was like, maybe it doesn't. So it does. So if you purchase this from Hobby Lobby, it does remove. It is pretty snug in there though. All right, so my design. Not sure if I'm really going to like how this looks, but I really wanted to play with this blue. It's reminding me of that powder color of paper from Concord and Ninth that I mentioned that I absolutely love. So what I'm going to do is just weed this out. It is separated by 2 different font styles here, and I found this in Cricut Design Space. And one font style is in the pink and the other is in this blue. Uh-oh. Let's see. That eye. Okay. Just looking and making sure that I didn't miss anything. So I need to, let's see. Let's put that ring weeder back on. Removing the centers. And if you missed my previous video, it is a kind of a lot in one, but you can get to know me a little bit and how I live. You can see a little bit of my craft space, and craft tour will be coming up shortly, and you'll be able to see this area of the room, which is kind of behind the camera in that video. But it is a haul, and just to kind of give you some information on what to expect in some future videos with some of the new purchases that I've bought. So I'll definitely link that down below for you guys. I would love it if you checked it out, just so you can kind of get to know me. You can see me in there, and you know, it's just a little more personable than you just seeing my hands, right? Okay. And let's fix this letter. It is stuck to the other one. It's okay. And okay, may not be good in every day, but there is what that says. And this is 2 different parts of the sign as well. This is as well. I'm going to have to cut that. But, okay, so this is the first. This is going to go at the top. It says every day. And this is matte tech wrap. I'll link it down below. The 2 colors that I'm using today are from a variety pack that came in sheets, which I showed you yesterday as well, and how I store my sheets in the scrapbook folders. So this is that. Okay. I really want to try their holographic. I'm going to have to order that soon so I can try it out and show you guys. Okay, so we've got every day, and then this is the bottom portion of the design. Love this script font. Once again, this design is incorporating 2 different font styles, which is really nice and visually appealing with the variation of text. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to say. Every day may not be good, but there is good in every day. So in every day is separate. Let's see. Every day may not be good, but there is good in every day. And that is how it is going to appear. So let's think. Let's take this out, and I apologize for you not really being able to see the acrylic, but what I want to do is figure out the positioning of these pieces so everything's distributed the best that it can be, obviously, because you don't want it to be, I don't want it to look off. All right, so I had to pull the design back up in Cricut Design Space to kind of see how the text was laid out. So what I'm going to do first is bring in my use transfer tape here, and we are going to get this applied down. And what I'm going to do is cut off the excess here. Now, this is a little shy. It's a little short, so I'm going to be wary of this part of the Y, the end part of the Y, but very carefully just going to burnish this down on both sides. Okay. Okay, I did not apply alcohol or anything to the acrylic base because it had that protective film. So what I'm going to do is actually try to center this in my mat and pay attention to the grid lines on my mat, and lay it down. Okay. Pressing that part of the letter down with my finger. Okay. Looking good. No bubbles. Seem to lay down flawlessly. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we've got every day, and then we've got to bring in may not be good, but there is. And on Cricut Design Space, the not word is lining up with the Y there. So let's move that aside again and reuse this transfer tape. I got it quite crooked on accident, but I'm going to cut off the excess because it's rolling up. And let's just get this burnished down as well. Okay. And if you want to use this same design, just type in this, you know, every day is a good day or something like that, or you can kind of type in the whole thing. It will search it and you can be able to find it. Let's see, let's put this back. Okay, bringing in a piece of paper here, you can better see it, and now that I have the white piece of paper here, I can definitely see how that is crooked, but it is a really nice design besides that, so I wanted to share. Looking at it, I'm probably going to have to recut it. You know what, I think I'm going to recut out the text in blue and cut it out in the pink and fix this real quick. Okay, so I removed the blue text with my weeding tool very carefully to not scratch the acrylic blank, cut it back out in the pink. You can see it much better. I just have a piece of cardstock behind it to give it some contrast so you can see it. I am going to style it like this though. I really like this look, but I did want to mention, excuse the animals right now, they are wanting to play, so I've got to wrap this up pretty quickly. You can always paint the back. I can't commit to something like that because I change my mind so often, but it would be really nice to apply some acrylic paint to the back and give it a little more contrast that way, permanent contrast, I guess. Just wanted to share that little insight with you if you weren't thinking that way. And That's it, guys. I've got to finish dinner and play with these little fur babies and clean up this craft space. It is a mess. So as always, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.